What is going on, everybody? We are back for round 11, the preview again. Hopefully this week we get better results. Last week wasn't bad results, for one of them it was, but last week we didn't get the result we wanted. We weren't able to get a prize card. However, this week I have confidence that I have finally locked down the players I need to. Unless an injury goes awry again, I am pretty confident that my teams will be able to do well for this week, including star powers. I usually kind of stay away from top 4. I do my best, but top 4 is so difficult to get a prize card from. However, I'm confident that star powers this week will do well. So will my top team for the top 18. I'm hoping that all does well for me. And I've got my tips that I'm going to show you guys again. I showed them in the round 10 review as I accidentally did. I didn't mean to, but I showed you guys who I voted for and tipped for that week. Anyways, however, there is a bit of a difference now, as I believe Hawthorne vs Gold Coast is now postponed or cancelled even. I think they're both getting a bye this week. I'm going to quickly check that. So it has actually been moved to New South Wales. I believe that was because of the COVID cases in Victoria, and so they had to have their thing changed up, the way they played changed up. I originally saw reports that the game was cancelled and they both got a bye, but it looks like that has been moved and that game will keep on going. So that'll mean I'm changing up my team very quickly, but I'm going to show you who I'm going into the next round with and who I am tipping in my tips. So let's start off with the star powers. This week, I think I may have a really, really good one. A major change, as you'll be able to notice if you watch round 10, is that I have switched up a green. I originally had a Jack Zeeble green in the Legends position. He is no longer there. I have realized that I'm kind of wasting my green position on a completely useless spot. I'm not saying that Jack Zeeble green in itself is a useless card. I am just saying that I have better ones. As you can see, I have a green Clayton Oliver. If I used him last week, I would be sitting on top of the world. I'd be having the best week of my life. But unfortunately, I did not put him in, so I'm not going to make the same mistake. I'm going to hope that he keeps his hot streak going. He's playing tonight, so I'm going to be watching that game. I hope to see a Bulldogs win, but Clayton Oliver do well. I think it was the same that happened last week against Adelaide. He played amazingly, however, they came away with a loss. So I'm hoping maybe something similar like that will happen. But we've also got the green Brodie Grundy. I think he's the same from last week. We've got Hugh McCluggage. He started off awesome against Richmond last week. However, he kind of slowed down a bit, and Jared Lyons took his glory a little bit. But I'm not stressed. They both played really well. I can always trust Hugh and Jared in my teams. We've got Jordan Ridley this time. Rising is so hard to find. It is so hard to pick one because none of them are like top tier players just yet. However, some of them can have absolutely standout games, and James Rowbottom just hasn't been doing it for me. As you can see, there's a lot of players here who on the random occasion could do well. As you can see, Taron Thomas had a good game previously. Brendan Parfitt's been doing well. Isaac Quainer had a really outstanding game last week. James Rowbottom has kind of been lackluster as of late, which has been really annoying. But Oscar Allen has got his name in there. We've got the rising star player who's kind of back and forth. Noah Bolter looks really good against the Lions as well. Isaiah Pickett is a lightning bolt. I love him, but I'm going to go with Jordan Ridley. He looks like the most consistent player. He gets a certain amount of disposals every week, a nice few marks. I don't know about the tackles, but I'm hoping he can do his thing this round. Jordan Ridley, I'm giving you a go. And Legend now is also very difficult. I'm going to go with Joel Selwood because I believe he stays on the ball for the most part nowadays. Jack Zeeble, he's alright, he's consistent, but I'd like to think that Joel Selwood can pull one out this week. He had an awesome round last week with 39 disposals, 4 marks and 7 tackles. I'm hoping that this time around Joel Selwood pulls out another awesome performance. I can't remember who he's playing against off the top of my head. However, I hope that Geelong has a good performance. That is my Star Powers team, hoping that it goes well. As you can tell here, last round I was 64th, so let's hope we can reach the top 20s this time. Clayton Oliver, this round's going to depend on you, buddy. It's going to depend on you. We're going over to the top team now, top 4. The only change I made for this one, Todd Goldstein, you're out of there. I'm not using you. Get the hell out of there. You are going to be replaced by Brodie Grundy. He just had a really shaky performance the week before last week, so I switched him out for Todd Goldstein because he played well against Melbourne. And then he pulled whatever that was out of his ass. Oh no, it was against Hawthorne, sorry. He played a really good game against Hawthorne, so I switched him up. Brodie Grundy's back in. Bontempelli is always a safe option. So is Lyons, and Rory Laird has been really good for me as well. So I'm going to keep him in there. The minute one of them gets injured or has a poor performance, you're on the chopping block. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it in top 4. You've got to make changes. Top 18, we are going with this little lineup, but I am going to quickly switch out Sam Walsh, considering Hawthorne are now playing this week. There you go, Tom Mitchell. You are now in the top 18 team. This is a really, really exciting back and midfield lineup right now. I am so excited for this. I wish I could have Mitch Duncan in here. However, this is a very scary midfield. Oliver with his performance last week. Grundy with his performance last week. McRae averaging 30 per freaking game. Cam Guthrie has been awesome, and I think he's going to be in tonight as well. Jared Lyons, again, he's always consistent. Tom Mitchell had an awesome performance last week as well. Midfield is awesome. I'm loving the midfield. Backline as well, played awesome, was really solid last week. No one had any bad performances, I'd say, but I think not as many outstanding performances that the midfield had. It's the forward line. The forward line always gets me. I do not know who to put in. I've switched up Darling for Taylor Walker. I've switched up, I believe, I can't remember who it was, but Eric Whitwood's now in there. I've kept the rest. Zeeble, I can't trust North players, but Zeeble has been the only consistent person I can get in the forward line. Billings, he had a bit of a shaky one, as everyone did against the Dogs, for playing against the Saints playing against the Dogs. Isaac Heaney did alright last week, but again, there's no one there that I can see having too many outstanding performances unless they're putting goals on the board. And that's why I'm putting Hipwood and Walker in, because they're just my tips for who's going to kick a lot of goals. Bontempelli is the only one that I see riding out the rest of the season. The only one in the forward line. So Bontempelli, you're staying in that position. You played awesome last week and got me a lot of points. So let's hope that the forward line doesn't let me down in the top 18. But finally, we're going to go over to the tips. Hopefully, this week is good for me. We got 7 out of 9 last week, which is not bad. I showed this in the round 10 review as well. I don't know why I showed you these tips. I should have left it for this video. However, to recap, I'm going to say Lions over the Giants. Lions are just such a nice team. That, like, I've never been more in love than with any other team than maybe the 2016 Bulldogs than I am with this Brisbane Lions squad. I think I was really excited with them in 2019, 2020. I was hoping they made the grand final. And this year, I'm loving them just as much. I'd like to see Lachie Neale come back soon, but they're playing just as good without him. But once he comes into the squad, he's going to be another dangerous player in there. We've got this matchup, Gold Coast versus Hawthorne. I'm going to tip Gold Coast. I'm going to back him. I just can't trust the Hawks right now. I'm going Sydney over Carlton. However, I can see it going the other way as well. After Sydney's loss to Freo, though, I expect them to come out hungry and Lance Franklin kick a bag of goals. We've also got Power versus Freo. This is another upset pick. I think Freo, I hope they don't get complacent, but I think they're going to ride their momentum into the game against Port Adelaide, because when they played, when Port Adelaide played Collingwood, they looked really shaky, and I don't know whether that'll stay in this round, but I'm going to presume that it will. West Coast versus Essendon. I think Essendon coming up against a team like North Melbourne, I do not see them, having the skills or being, as serious as they should against the Eagles. The Eagles are not North Melbourne, as much as I hate to say that. The Eagles are just not North Melbourne. They are going to play solid, or at least a lot more solid than North are right now. We're going to go to Collingwood Geelong. I think Collingwood are going to lose this one. I don't think there's much explaining I need to do. Geelong they're a squad that you cannot overlook ever. Over the last 15 years, you just can't overlook them. You never can. Saints versus North. I'm going to go Saints, even after their really disappointing loss. I think Saints are going to come out firing. North Melbourne are kind of stuck. I do not see them kind of trying to push those games where they've been on getting big defeats. However, Saints, after their 111-point smashing, they have to come out strong. The way that they've been playing this year, they need to come out strong and really take a win against North Melbourne. This is going to be really important for them. Richmond versus Adelaide. I'm going to go Adelaide. I'm going to say that their hot streak continues and that they take out Richmond again and puts them even lower, because they are currently 9th for Richmond, which is unbelievable to think about. It is ridiculous to think about. And then we've got that blockbuster tonight. we've got the Dogs versus the D's. I'm going with the Dogs. I am legitimately scared by this Bulldogs team. They look absolutely dangerous. And I heard a comment from Heath Shaw saying that he doesn't think either the Dogs or the D's are going to make the grand final. And you know what? I agree. I think that there's a good chance one of these teams trips up. Melbourne especially. The Dogs obviously have a few players who played in that 2016 premiership. They've got Jason Johannesson. They've got Marcus Bontempelli. They've got Libba. They've got Caleb Daniel. They've got a bunch of players from that team who are still playing now and could get a chance at a grand final. But you think of teams like Geelong, they're starting to ramp up now. Teams like Brisbane, they could come over and pick them up. Richmond, you can't ever count out. You really just can't. West Coast could go on a streak. They could. They really could. Power are strong as well. So many teams that could take these two spots. I think it could happen. I truly do. But if both of them make it, that's good on them. I wouldn't be surprised with that either. However, I would also not be terribly surprised. I would maybe find a little bit surprising if both of them didn't make it. But I think either the Dogs or the Melbourne Demons will be making it to the grand final at least at some point. I hope in the near future, presumably this year. But I think the Dogs are just very scary this year. So that is my tips for round 11. Good luck to whatever team you may be barracking for. I hope that all of your star powers and top teams go insanely well for you guys. And I hope you enjoyed this video. Round 11 is going to be super duper exciting. I hope that I can get some content out for you guys as well over the weekend. But I appreciate every single one of you who tune into the videos. Be sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll catch you at the end of the week or the start of the next week for the round 11 recap. Goodbye.